each minister will, God willing, have this platform to engage directly with the media. This initiative, spearheaded by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Communication, underscores government's commitment to transparency and accountability. It serves as a platform to keep Nigerians informed about ongoing policies and programs of the Tinubu administration to ensure that citizens remain actively engaged in the nation's governance process. We sincerely appreciate the media for their unwavering dedication in covering the ministerial press briefing session. The media continues to play a crucial role in fostering an informed and engaged citizenry. Our country stands at a critical juncture as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu implements bold and transformative reforms to lay the foundation for a new Nigeria. Across the world, history has shown that all meaningful reforms are never easy. They demand sacrifice, resilience, and commitment to long-term progress. The initial pains that often accompany these changes are the necessary price we all have to pay for a more stable and prosperous future. I want to sincerely appreciate Nigerians for their patience, perseverance, and unwavering belief in the President's vision. These reforms are not just well-intentioned, they are essential for the growth and development of our nation. Let me say that we have crossed the Rubicon, and the pains are gradually easing as the positive impact of these reforms are beginning to manifest. Already, we are witnessing a marked reduction in food prices, stability in the exchange rate, and a gradual decline in the cost of petroleum products, which are clear indicators that the reforms are indeed yielding positive results. As we continue on this journey, I am appealing to our religious leaders to use this period of the Ramadan and Lent to offer prayers for the peace, security, and progress of our dear nation. Only last week, at the annual Ramadan lecture organized by the Nigerian Television Authority, the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and the Voice of Nigeria, I emphasized the vital connection between faith, policies, and governance. A nation thrives when its leaders govern with a sense of divine responsibility. And I assure you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lives with the utmost fear of God, guided by the conviction that history will judge his administration favorably. I want to urge all our Muslim and Christian leaders, particularly during this period of Ramadan and the Lent, to continue to pray for Nigeria's success. With unity, faith, and collective effort, we will emerge stronger, more resilient, and positioned for lasting prosperity. Now, let me say that the ground rule for this engagement is that each of the ministers will have a maximum of 30 minutes to speak to you. And then the second minister will also have a maximum of 30 minutes, after which there will be another full hour of interactive engagement with members of the media. It is now my singular honor to invite the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, to go first. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Information, Mr. Mohammed Idris, for giving us, as the Minister of Education, these opportunities to talk to Nigeria. Let me also recognize the presence of the Minister of Aviation, Mr. Festus Kayamo, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor to the President on Media, Mr. Sunday Dare, the two permanent secretaries that are present here today, the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Education and Aviation, all head of agencies that are present here today, directors present here, and other senior government officials, and more importantly, members of the fourth realm of our government, the press. Thank you for inviting us and for this big opportunity to talk to Nigeria. The mandate that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given us to totally reform the education system in Nigeria. The several challenges that we met, can I have projection of the slides? But some of the numbers project. I'll talk about the challenges, talk about and a target, and the things we've made quickly in the last several months and in the last almost 2 years that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken a believer and benevolent believer in human capital development. And when you talk about human capital development, what are you talking about? Education, health, and social protection. When the president was campaigning all over the country, he said, I would take difficult that. He spoke to Nigerians directly and told them, I'll be honest with you. I'll take difficult decisions. But those decisions that I will take, it's not for now, but for prosperity, for the future of your children and the future of your grandchildren. And when you have a leader making decisions like that, based on the future of your children and your grandchildren, you can be 100% assured that those are right decisions. And when you take right decisions, difficult decisions. That's what this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done. And now we're all seeing the results of those difficult decisions. The light at the end of the tunnel, we're seeing it clearly, and I can assure you the tunnel is now getting shorter and shorter. We're getting to El Dorado. And you saw you heard the Minister of Information just rolled out some of the gains that we're seeing. But these are real gains, not superficialities, no band-aid. But these are gains based on real fundamentals of our economy. Now, I'll talk about education. The several challenges that we met, but some of these numbers are now better. We have about 60 million Nigerians between the ages of 5 and 14 years old. Of these 60 million Nigerians, 45 million of them are learning poor. What do I mean by learning poor? That means a child that belongs to these 45 million within the category of the 5 million people cannot read age-appropriate tests at the age of 10. We have one of the highest burden of children that are learning poor in the country. And we also have an enviable record of having the second highest number of children that are out of school in the world. We need to know our problems so that we can put strategies to clearly and meticulously address these problems. Of these 15 million people that are out of school, 50% of them have never been enrolled in school. 5% of them are dropout, and 25% of them belongs to the Amajiri category. And there's argument back and forth if the Amajiris are really out of school, because they go to school, but they're just not getting Western education. But we have clear strategy on how to take numeracy, literacy to these Nigerians. Also, looking at a girl child, the female population, we have 20 million adolescent girls today in Nigeria between the ages of 12 and 19. And 6 million of those young Nigerians are out of school. And with a fertility rate of about 103 births per thousand, population is projected to rise in the next 25 years to 400 million. We have to sprint. Today, we have clear strategies on how to do this, to address all these challenges that have laid before Nigerians. We've come up with clear agenda under our Nigerian Education Sector Renewal Initiative with clear strategic goals, which is moving our nation from a resource-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. We have that capacity. Nigeria has a unique demography in the world. Very unique. Good democracy, good demography that we need to tap. We have a population of 220 million people. Of these 220 million people, 70% of that population, they're below the ages of 30 years. But vibrant, youthful population, dynamic population, eager to learn, eager to work, making changes, both in Nigeria, globally. So what do we need to do as a government is to equip them with the skills that they need. And that's what we're doing exactly at the Ministry of Education, to move our country from a resource-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. Clear strategic goal to reduce the number of out-of-school children, reduce learning poverty, increase skills and human capital development. And we have a clear 3 pillars on how we're going to do this and how we're doing this. Equitable access that will give us, that include increased level of literacy, numeracy, and critical thinking with skills. Reducing the burden of our out-of-school children and integrating these kids into formal education, giving them formal education, and beyond formal education, giving them life skills for them to be able to be useful to themselves, to the community they live, to the country, and the world at large. The second pillar, increase quality of education and learning outcomes. I'll go into each of our strategies under each pillars. And the third pillar, strengthen governance and management in our education system. With these clear 3 pillars, we have 3 cross-cutting enablers: data and digitalization. We need data. Without data, we have to plan, intervene, and monitor outcomes. We've laid out a clear, robust data and digitalization agenda for our education system. We have inaugurated the Nigerian Education Data Infrastructure Platform. We're working closely with the Ministry of Communication, Digital Economy, as well as NIDA. We have a clear agenda on how we will roll all our education data from the foundational level into one data, going to a secondary school level as well as a tertiary school level. We've also started intense collaboration with our subnational government. We've met with the Nigerian Governors Forum, and we also have a series of meetings that are planned ahead. We've worked to rejuvenate the Commissioner of Education, the State Commissioner of Education Forum. We've met several times. We're queuing them in our agenda as we move along. Also, we're also working, developing renewed partnership with the private sector so that we can all coordinate together, plan together, so that we can all be our interventions will be more impactful. Next slide. So, with all that has been said, we've laid out 6 high priority intervention areas. TVET, technical vocational education, is the bedrock of what we're doing. We have an expansive agenda to move hundreds of thousands of young Nigerians, to give them the life skills that they need. And when we talk about technical and vocational education and training now, it's total. It's real technical and vocational training. We adopt the Pareto rule, didactic and 80% practical trainings. When I say Pareto rule, what is success? Pareto is what is success? 80% policy, and 20% policy and 80% implementation. And that's how we can be successful with this expansive TVET agenda. We have clear 4 steps on how we intend to do this. Step 1, we would incentivize our young citizens, Nigerian, to go to seek technical and vocational skills. We will pay them monthly stipend, pay them accommodation to get to where they're going to get the skills. Step 2, the schools that we've identified, 3 clear areas of training. Number 1, the skill training centers, the vocational enterprise institutes, and our state and federal technical colleges will be the 3 major areas where we will be training these children. We will pay these schools decent tuition fee for each student they train. We want to start a new value chain in a technical and vocational education system. As we pay these schools decent tuition, they'll have more funds to invest in building infrastructures, building workshop, and hiring teachers. It's step 3 of what we're doing. I told you we're focusing on practical training. We've identified the mastercraft persons, the large industries, the medium-sized industries, and the artisans. We will pay these industries, these artisans, per child, per citizen that they train. We will use the dual modality. When these kids enroll in school, dual mode of training, when they enroll in school, they will spend 3 days with the skill centers at the mastercraft person centers. Spend 1 day for their didactic lectures and spend 1 day in their workshop in their school. We've put plans together. We've mapped all these industries to where these skill training centers are, where the vocational enterprise institutes are, and where federal and state technical colleges are. Do that as well. As we do this training, we've done labor gap analysis. We're not just going to be training people based just arbitrarily. We have clear ideas of the labor gap needs of each geopolitical zone. So we'll be doing targeted have added new trades like CNG conversion and maintenance, solar panel maintenance and assembling. We've also put we're using more electric vehicles, electric tricycles, electric motorbikes. We've added trades like that. And also, as part of our food security, we're putting a lot of emphasis on training in mechanized farming and livestock production. So, step 4. I've told you 3 steps. Step 1, we will incentivize our citizens to seek this technical and vocational education. We will build a new business ecosystem in our vocational schools. And step 3, we will train them very well in those skills as places. Step 4, as these kids are graduating, we've We also put together entrepreneurial grant for the ones that want to start their business opportunity. And all these things that I've said cost money, but I can assure you today that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his fervent belief in human capital development, to move this agenda forward. Do we have enough of money that we need? No, but we have a substantial amount of money, of almost 120 billion naira that the President has approved for us to move this agenda forward. This TVET program will be launched probably the month of May, at the latest, the first half of June of this year. Speaking about TVET, we also are putting a lot of renewed emphasis STEM with 2 M's. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences. Today, our universities are training a lot of our children with no life skills. So we're refocusing our education at tertiary school to focus on areas of needs. Today, we don't have enough nurses in the country. Even if we train 2 million nurses today in the country, there's enough market for them. Let's use our population to saturate these areas of needs. Even if we don't get job here, they'll get job abroad. Those citizens will go abroad, they'll send money to their family. That's a huge direct source of foreign direct investment to the country, giving us well-needed forex. So we're focusing heavily on that. And as we have a lot of these young kids outside that have been trained in courses that they can't get job, we have a clear plan on how to retrofit their skills, to give them new skills. As part of our TVET agenda as well, that we've embedded in our tertiary, people that graduated from our tertiary schools, institutions, all the final year students, we've developed what we call DTA, Digital Training Academy, to train these kids with skills, give them with skills that they need, that they can Nigeria or anywhere in the world. They will stay in Nigeria and make decent living. Today, based on UNESCO data, there are about 658,000 vacancies in software development methodologies, about 280,000 vacancies in proactive security that we call cyber security. There are about 168,000 vacancies in IT automation, another 150,000 vacancies in AI and machine learning, about 120,000 vacancies in cloud computing, about 68,000 vacancies worldwide in national language processing. If you add that together, we have almost 2 million job vacancies out there. So what we're doing with that Digital Training Academy, we're working with trainers now that will offer 6 months to people, young Nigerians, to get this training. We as a government, we will pay for their internet services, we will encourage them, we would find or pay for computer for them or contract with CBT centers. These citizens will be trained 6 months, we will pay for their certification, Cisco certification, AWS certification, Huawei certification, Google certification. Once they get this international certification, they can sit here in Nigeria, apply for jobs anywhere in the world, service a company in Singapore, London, Germany, India, and China, and they will get very decent pay, $3,000, $4,000 a month. That's not bad pay. So that's a strategy that we want to use to move a lot of our young kids, to give them these digital skills that they need to service the world. That will launch also on or before June of this year. We have clear plans to address our out-of-school children. We're going to do conditional cash transfer. We're working with the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry how we're going to do this. We're trying to plan the process on how this will be done. We've gotten the NIPSI to join us as well, so that we can now have a register that is clean, and as these funds go to these parents, we know exactly we're paying the right people. So we have a clear plan to address on our out-of-school children. We also have launched a Lumina program for a girl child education. That was launched just last week. That part of our strategy is being led by our Honorable Minister of State for Education. So we have clear strategy on how to increase the number of, to reduce the burden of girl child that are out of school. Now, I spoke to you about data and digitalization. This met severally with what-known consultants. We're going to use, India has a robust digital platform that they call India. We've met with the developers of those platforms. We're going to engage them. We'll work to engage them to build that customized digital platform for us, where we begin to take clear foundational education data from JAM, from all our universities, all our polytechnics, NECO data, JAM data, everything will be housed in one platform that we call Nigeria Education Data Infrastructure. And we're building this for sustainability. We have clear funding that we'll continue to use to maintain this data platform. Of course, we're focusing heavily on education quality and assurance. We now have a renewed strategies to address, to quality assure the kind of education we're giving our children. And as we give them this education, we also quality the teachers that are training our children, so that as we do this, the high level of learning poverty that we have will significantly reduce. Next slide, please. So, what are the performance target? I spoke heavily on the Tibet. We have planned to, between now and 2027, to give 650,000. That's actually conservative estimate. Nigerians, new digital, technical, vocational skills, as well as digital skills, that they would skills that they will use to start working and start making incomes. With our STEM, we have clear strategy on how we're going to quadruple the number of admissions into a medical school, focusing heavily on medicine, pharmacy, nursing, and dentistry.